Cedric Maxwell Podcast is powered by Prize Picks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network.
All right, it's another episode of the Cedric Maxwell Podcast. Another special guest with us. I am Josue Pavone. He is Cedric Maxwell. And we got Gary Washburn of the Boston Globe joining us once again. Off-season edition. Well, I guess it's sort of you got free agency. You got the NBA draft to recap. But how you been? I mean, the last 2 weeks, you just covered a championship team for the first time. How's everything? You got a new book. We'll get into that in a little bit. But how's everything been, man?
Oh, it's been good. It's been good. It was cool to see, them finally get over the top. We ain't got to talk about that no more. It's been literally, I've been in the city 15 years, and they've been, except for 1 year, trying to get a championship. And to see them get over the top and finally get it done and get the monkey off their back, man, it was cool to see. And then the parade,
my friend. It's not, this is a black show. We don't use no terms like getting the monkey off your back. We don't.
Getting the anvil off your back. All right, get the anvil off your back.
Thank you.
Like Roadrunner. You gotta look that up, Joe Sweats, before your time. Like Roadrunner.
Yeah, that is, man. I don't know that one.
But yeah, I mean, it was good. It was good for them to get over the top. The parade was awesome. Like I never been to a parade before. In terms of like a team celebrating, and just to see all the types of people out that came out that love the Celtics. People think that, obviously, Max, people watched your days and they saw a number of white folks at Boston Garden and thought those are the only people, but there's so many people of color, so many from everywhere who love the Celtics, man. It's crazy. And it was just to see all them out that day on that Friday, all shapes and sizes, colors, ages from 2 to 92. That was like, wow, Boston really showed the best of itself. So it was cool. It was cool to see, them finally, that said, like, people think that I like the team. They're good guys. I'm good with Joe. Me and Joe are great at this point, That's serious, Max. Don't give me a head look. we can get into the Scal.
Yeah, Max, explain that look. Who was that? We
can get into the Scal perk thing in a minute if you want. But
oh yeah, we can do that for sure.
But yeah, it was awesome. It's been a cool 2 weeks to just kind of watch it. And now, as you see, other teams are ramping up. Meanwhile, I'm watching ESPN News here, and they got two brothers doing cornhole. So I don't know what to say about that, Max. I wish you was. I wish you could.
On a Sunday, huh?
On a Sunday, man. Like, what happened? What happened, man? That's why all the French folks is getting drafted higher than us in hoops, because brothers they're playing cornhole. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, here's one of the crazy things we think about it, though. And, I know we all laugh.
Two brothers playing corner. I don't know what to say.
I've never seen that, man. I got to turn that over.
I guess we've officially overcome, man.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing I'll say about what Gary's talking about. You're talking about people, that you see all kind of white folks in the audience. Well, most black people can't afford to go in and get tickets at the garden.
You couldn't afford it 40 years ago.
And now you're talking about those tickets were, to get in the building was $3,000 and $4,000 a seat.
Yeah, the 300 section, I heard it was like 1,200.
Higher ones. So
yes, that was the highest.
The 300 section, I heard the lowest was 1,200.
Yeah, for
crazy.
People that come in with color is like, that's why they had to be out in the streets where it was free. And they can celebrate their team, and they got behind their team. But it was such a beautiful day, and just the environment was just crazy good. What I did like about Boston, the fact that it did not seem like other cities had violence to go along with the parade. Yeah. It was good, and it was just really cool. I'm like you though. I probably more than you and Josue wanted to see them win this series because I got tired of all these damn haters who've been around. You look at ESPN. I think 9 out of 12 reporters said the parade was going to be in Dallas. And
I think it was 9 out of 17, but like, yeah. I mean,
That's crazy,
I love Perk, but Perk was like, "Oh, I got Dallas winning games 3 and 4." Like, and I'm not saying that everybody has a perspective, and I respect Perk a hell of a lot, but I just think they thought, "Oh, wait till they get to Luka and Kyrie." They go. I don't think their road to the finals was respected, right? Like, I think and understand they beat Miami without Jimmy Butler, they beat Cleveland last couple games without Donovan Mitchell. Indiana didn't have Halliburton, but they were able to win both. I mean, but this team had proven all year it was the best. And I just
here's one of the things that happened though. You think about those games and which set the Celtics back and made people think differently was when the Celtics lost to the Lakers in Boston with no LeBron and no AD.
Yeah.
Those kind of games put other things that, and people just didn't say, well, maybe they just played a bad game. I think that was it with the Celtics is that and the biggest narrative, which was untrue, was that everybody said, all the national people, the best player in this series right now is Luka. Yeah. And we found out it wasn't. It was Tatum and Brown by a large margin. I'm not sure right now if Luka could keep me, you, or Gary in front of him right now. We were dribbling down the court. I just don't think he could. I mean,
what do you think?
He was so bad.
Yeah.
There was some record they were saying that said he got blown by 65% of the time. I mean, that is just crazy to think of. That means your effort is lacking, or you can't move your feet. But if you're such a great player, you should be able to at least stay in front of a guy. And because of that, Tatum Brown just ran roughshod. And I think the biggest narrative that I've seen here lately is that what people want to pick at is that, oh, you know what? Jaylen Brown shouldn't have got the MVP. It should have been Tatum. People just want to stir shit up with this team when I think they were just happy. Tatum was just genuinely happy to win
to be a champion, right?
Right. They get that shit off his back was the biggest thing that people looked at. And now they can go out and play next year. I talked to Michael Felker, like you on the show, and he was trying to cause those same waves. And, well, Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum didn't get the MVP. So there's meat left on the bone for him. And Brown didn't do it. I said, and then he asked me, so what do you think, Max, is going to make the Celtics, so they're not complacent? I said exactly what you said. Tatum wasn't the MVP. Brown was. Brown wasn't the all-pro this year. So you had to have those things. Then there's meat left on the bone that they can go out and they can try to play. Joe Mazzulla has to convince people, not us, convince people that he's a hell of a coach, and he is. He's one of the best coaches right now in the National Basketball Association. And all these other guys are going to get their money. And the biggest thing about it, when people say, well, how about Denver? Celtics are bringing back damn near their entire core. And because of that, there's going to be continuity. Like Denver, people don't realize how good Jeff Green was for those guys. Or Bruce Brown was good in Denver. They had the Celtics don't have that problem. And I'm not sure, I'm sure you'll know better than me, that there are going to be some players out there who haven't won a ring that say, shit, I want to play with the Celtics now. I want to win one. I want to go in a Blake Griffin type guy who is out there who hasn't done whatever, but said, look, damn, I want to win with these guys. So I think it's easier right now for Brad Stevens, who did a fantastic job, to go out and recruit and try to get somebody else.
Yeah, I think the hottest team is the team that just won a championship. And so although the Celtics are limited with their financial, they can only offer minimum deals. Remember, the market is going to squeeze. There's no middle class anymore, pretty much. When the market begins and all the Paul Georges and James Hardens and all these guys sign, there's going to be a bunch of brothers left out who are going to be trying to catch onto a ship and not drown and not be getting some training camp invites. And they're going to take that minimum money from the Celtics, especially knowing, one, if you're a big man, you can probably play because the Celtics are going to need some help in the middle. With Porzingis being out, Horford being on his age 38 now. We don't know about Cornette and Tillman, whether they'll be back. They can try to bring both of those guys back. But if you're coming in, you're going to get a chance to play. They got 2 draft picks who might be able to play. Like, it's good. Like they've solidified their team to make more than one run. That's the thing. And obviously, Max, you know more than anybody about one, trying to repeat. It's hard as hell because obviously 81, you guys came back, I'm sure, in 82 and thought, oh, it's us. And you guys lost to Philadelphia, because Philly was coming after you. But just having that eye of the tiger, that desire. And I have full confidence in Mazzulla with his different type of methods of motivation that he's going to get those guys ready to go to come back, as opposed to spending the summer hanging out, partying. Obviously, Jason and Drew got the Olympics. I don't see Jalen being on some 3-month vacation and not work. Like they're gonna come back hungry. And because now you're talking about making history. Now you're talking about being one of the great eras of the Celtic history. Now you won a championship. So you're equal with 08. But now it's a chance to be better than 08. 08 couldn't win that second title. Right. They got hurt in 09. They lost in Game 7 in 2010, and then age kind of kicked in. But now you've got a chance to win 2 and 3 years, 3 and 4 years back to back. You got a chance to make some history here.
Mm-hmm.
The Celtics haven't gone back to back since the 60s. Like, you have a chance to do something special. And that's the thing, I think, like you said, Max, like they got the core back, and they're going to bring, and they could probably use another old head, another professional guy who's going to come in, maybe take less money, and just be like, just wants to be a part of what. That's the 08 team, Eddie House and PJ Brown and Sam Cassell. Those guys is like, I'm trying to get a chip. And they see now Boston's the place to do that.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to look at this drink right here because I need to tip this up. Yeah, Dr. Pepper, man.
Yo, Max loves that shit, Gary. He loves it.
I'm trying to give this to Gary after he talks so kumbaya about him and the coach. I mean, these two guys have been like, what is it, oil and whatever? Because
Tom and Jerry.
So many times I'll see a question being asked, and I was like, and I hear the question being asked by Gary, and I'm like, oh shit, here we go.
Here we go.
Joe Mazzulla, he can't give you a straight answer. I mean, so many times you've given Joe Mazzulla a layup and going, so Joe, your team is really playing well, and da. And Joe will look at you right now and going, well, what do you think about Jesus Christ?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not that far off. That is not that far off.
That's our friend Vince Goodwill that asked about him being a black coach. And when I heard that question,
what was that?
I cringed. I was like, because here's the thing about the finals, that, like, all the national reporters got a chance to see Joe Mazzulla live, and in person.
What you've been dealing with?
Great. Joe Mazzulla's great
dealing with all the time.
Exactly.
Everybody, and I said, and I looked at the national reporters.
He was in peak
form. Y'all thought it was me. Now you know. Now you know what's happening.
Yo, for real, Gary's looking around the room like, yo, imagine 82 games of this. Yeah, y'all see what I'm dealing with? All right.
Y'all see what I'm talking about now? Everybody think, oh, Gary always starting shit. No.
Hey,
yo, Gary was the only one smiling at that point, like looking around like.
I was laughing to have the question.
That was
I was laughing. I was like, oh, I know he ain't gonna answer this. Let me listen to see what he says.
Yeah, that was a layup. Two black coaches have come together, and you're going, this is the time to play your black card and go
for real.
Not late and move. You're gonna move the line. No, not Joe.
And then Max, two black head coaches just got fired too. Like, so it was a very relevant question. It wasn't like it came out of nowhere. Like this stuff has been talked about every offseason.
I don't know what the hell you talking about. Like, how many of them are Christians? I was like, yep. And then everybody looked at me, and I was like, see, y'all think it was me. Y'all thought I was crazy, right? Y'all thought I was a hard driving reporter. Oh, Gary doesn't like the team.
Gary's trying to build a narrative. Yeah.
I was like,
Gary,
you see this dude? You see this dude?
Go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ask another one. Who's next?
You see, I didn't start no stuff during the finals.
It's your time to ask the question. Gary said, you know what? I'm going to defer to somebody else.
Yep, I'm gonna let them. Y'all do this.
You go ahead. Go ahead, Malika. Go ahead, Malika. You go ahead and ask somebody like that. Yeah.
You see, there was nothing that happened between me and him in the finals. Like, no. I know what he's gonna say. Nope.
Did you get a chance to? Did you guys do like a last embrace or something? When's the last time did you speak to him before the parade? When was the last time you guys got
to him the day after the parade? We had a great conversation. The day after the parade, I called him. I texted him because I didn't get a chance to really, after the whole everything, he had so many people around him and everybody trying to do one-on-one interviews. I didn't get a chance to pull him aside, but I did text him the morning after and said congratulations to him. And then we had a good conversation the day after the parade. So, I said, like, I'm happy for him. Second youngest coach behind Bill Russell to win a championship. And all of what he did worked. And I think he's learned a lot on the way. I think him having a great staff around him helped him trusting his players, being a little bit more open-minded. And, you just got to think now, is Joe going to be one of those guys that coaches probably 20 years? I don't know with the intensity that he has, that he'll be able to do this for a long, long time. I think he's really intense, but he's only going to get better. So I respect him. I said, I have much respect for Joe Mazzulla. He's an unusual guy. I think everybody saw that. And I said, you didn't see me doing nothing during the finals. I was a good guy. I stayed like Max. I stayed out of grown folk business.
You really did.
Y'all want them big feature questions? You want to ask them? And then the dude asked him about being half Italian. He didn't bite on that either. He said, "I don't care if we can rebound and get spacing on the floor. I don't care what you are. I'll be whatever." Like I was like, see. Like, y'all think it's me? Y'all thought it was me.
This episode of the Cedric Maxwell podcast is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going to go off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinion into real money all season long on PrizePicks. I got Tyreek Hill this week for more than 97.5 receiving yards and Patrick Mahomes for less than 267.5 passing yards. Download the app today and use the code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. Run your game. I'm Joseph Pavone. He is Cedric Maxwell, of course, but we got a very special guest, man. We told y'all nothing but A-list guests during the offseason. We didn't miss this time, man. Ice Cube, the legendary rapper, actor, man, entrepreneur, you name it, man. I can't even go down your resume right now, but I'm very, very excited about this conversation. And thank you for taking the time. Of course, the Big 3 in town this weekend. You got the All-Star game, the championship, big weekend coming up here in Boston. And of course, Ice Cube is going to be in the house. But how you doing, Cube? How's everything, man? How's your summer been?
It's been incredible. Thanks for having me on. Always been cool with cornbread. You know what I mean? We've had our back and forth here and there. But it's
you a fan? You was a big fan?
Well, I'm gonna say that I admired his game. As far as a fan, you know what time it is. I'm a Laker guy, but you gotta admire true competitors and people who step up to the next level. Especially to the championship level. So it's always been mutual respect with not just cornbread, but everybody. All the Celtics. It's been always mutual respect.
Well, let me say it. Let me ask you this then. Suppose I bring ML Carr in right now.
It's the same.
That's Max's boy right there.
If he was on a championship squad, you got to salute it. You can't hate on that. That's the pinnacle. And it's all salute. When it comes to that. But y'all know what time it is when it comes to Ice Cube.
Well, you know what? You guys made Jason Tatum actually know me for the 30 for 30.
Yeah, man.
I was walking around and, one day he came out on the floor. He was getting ready to practice. He goes, cornbread. I said, what's wrong with you, man? He said, I saw that 30 for 30. Damn, you were a bad motherfucker back then. I said, that's how I get my props. 30 for 30 with Ice Cube talking shit about me, our team the whole time, hating on the Celtics. I mean, that was a brilliant thing that they put you and your guy dying together. You guys were brilliant.
Yeah, real fans, and 30 for 30 is a great way to teach the history, to teach the history of what it was, when we were, in the 80s and, from a player perspective, from a fan perspective, the passion is still there, the memories. And, it's a special time in basketball that it's hard to match. I can't find a match for that feeling, that time, that rivalry. So, I was proud, and I'm glad that Donnie did it too, because he's a proud Celtic fan. So to have two, filmmakers and fans and passionate people from our city to voice that over, it was just that's dream come true stuff for somebody like me, because like I said, I watched it on TV, cheering in my living room or crying in my living room, whatever the outcome was. But to now be a part of it in some kind of way, it was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Before that, Tatum revealed that he thought this dude, this 6'8" Celtics legend over here, was just a radio guy. He thought that he was just, had been around the team for a while. He popped in the 30 for 30. He's like, wait a minute, that dude won rings? That dude is
the youngsters think I'm a movie guy. So, it's I can understand what he's going through.
Yeah, that's so funny you say that, because last episode I was telling Max how growing up, when I first saw New Kids on the Block, I was watching this video one day on MTV. I was like, was that Mark Wahlberg? Like, I had no idea that he had a whole group and everything, man. So from that generation, I can relate to that for sure. But I certainly know you from your rapping days. Not NWA quite, but when you was solo, I remember that growing up for sure.
For sure. I mean, it's all good. As long as they know us, that's all that matters. We still here, and we got a lot of history. And when they get to know us, they really know why we're still here. You know what I mean? And why we're still around. Because, we've done some cool stuff. And now we're talking about the cool stuff that, Max is talking about what players is doing. I'm talking about, I'm displaying, basketball with the big three. So, we setting the stage for the youngsters to come in behind us and show us what they got.
Well, I got to let our listener, our viewers on a little tip. When I saw my man on the sideline, I had to go over there and give him respect. And so, I pull my headphones off. I go walk up to him, and he looks at me. He's very observant. He's looking around everybody else, and he sees me, and he goes, "Fucking cornbread."
Man, used to make my stomach hurt.
That's a salute from a Lakers fan, right? That's a salute.
Hey, it was they had some tough teams, and it was always a nightmare to have to go against the Celtics, without a doubt. And so you got, I respect, all the players from that era. I ran into Danny Ainge, a few years ago. Had to give him his respect, for just for being that ferocious player, for bringing out the best in the Lakers too. You know, it was the highs and lows of the 80s. I think it made it a special time for both organizations.
Let's get into. I mean, we talked about what's going to happen here in Boston on Sunday, which for sure should be a lot of fun, man. Especially for the league. You know, this is the big finale here. But let's talk about what was supposed to happen, or what could have happened with, you know, the 3-on-3, the winner, the Olympic winning Netherlands team who took the gold medal, and you presented a challenge for them to take on the champions of the Big Three, and they accepted. But of course, FIBA got involved, and now it seems like it's not going to happen. What happened there? Take me through that.
Well, you know, we saw how the USA, you know, fared out in the Olympics, and everybody, you know, if you even, you know, 4 eyes, no eyes, you could see and know that we had better players that can represent the United States, and we think they in the Big Three. You know, these guys have been playing this style of basketball for, you know, 7-8 years. And it's like, we feel like we got the best players in the world, and it's not even close. And so after the U.S. got kicked out, we was like, yo, we want to challenge the winner. We didn't even know who the winner was going to be. And it turned out to be the Netherlands. And so we gave them a few days and then gave them a call. And they were, you know, to their credit, they was down. They think they're going to do well against, Big Three All-Stars. And but they were worried about FIBA. You know, FIBA had threatened them not to let them play in the EU championships, to suspend whoever played for a year. So they kind of stepped in. Then they sent us this, you know, bullshit letter where they said, you know, you only gave us 10 days to make this decision. We have to wait 3 weeks because of the blah, 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 blah. And so, you know, that was a little out, a technicality. So today we issued another challenge. Yo, let's do it in January. Let's invite a few more of the biggest 3-on-3 teams in the world, or the best. Let's have a little tournament. Let's call it the Big Cup. Let's
I like that.
Back on the line. You know, let's put that money back on the line. And so, you know, we're gonna play our championship. We're gonna play our All-Star game on Sunday, and then we're gonna get right back at them and see if they can you know, what excuses will they have now?
Oh, what made you come up with that concept? I mean, that's just, I mean, I play street ball all the time, play 3-on-3, but what made you think that this was going to be viable, especially commercial? And now you've kind of crossed over into a whole nother thing where people are representing you and being on TV. This is really cool. But what made you come up with that concept?
Just playing, you know, being a fan. I love basketball. You know, I played a little organized basketball.
I wish I could have played your ass back in the day when I was playing. I wish I would have loved.
Look, that's all right, man. I'll just shoot them jumpers, man. You know,
he ain't gonna chase you.
Yeah, I ain't right now. You know, I know what you could do down there. I ain't about to come in that paint. But you know, just playing, you know, a lot of 3-on-3 in my backyard. You know, at my house we had the court, so we had everybody in the backyard battling, and it's, you know, it's just a great game. It's a mano-a-mano game. It's a game where you have to have all skills. You know, you can't be a specialist in 3-on-3. You know, in 5-on-5, you could be a defensive guy, you could be a rebound guy, you could be a 3-point guy. But in the, you know, in 3-on-3, you have to be able to pass, dribble, shoot, and defend. And, you know, man up, lock down your man, help is not coming. And so I felt like this style was there all along, like the step cousin of 5-on-5, you know, waiting for some shine. And I'm like, you know, talking to my partner, Jeff Quantness, you know, let's elevate this to the professional level. And we spent a year, you know, just figuring out what that looks like, what that feels like, what will be accepted by first, the American audience and then the world audience. And so we started to, kind of carve up what the league should look like, feel like, sound like. And it's a blessing. We've been here, this is our 7th year. Really 8. We had to shut down for COVID, but it's been great that people love the game like I do.
This episode of the Cedric Maxwell podcast is brought to you by Game Time. Football season is back. That means tailgate season is back, and we all know the vibes here in New England and what that means. Do not miss out on these opportunities that Game Time has for you. All right, whether it's the Patriots, whether it's college football, whatever you're into, you don't want to miss out on these deals because Game Time gives you the absolute cheapest deals around, and it makes it so easy for you when you use their app to take advantage of those deals. You pick an upcoming game on the app, you browse through the seats on a brand new feature called Game Time Picks. That makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you incredible deals on great seats. You don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. It makes it easy for you. Curation makes it easy to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. The all-in pricing, this is the feature that shows you the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout, because I know everyone hates that, right? You get a panoramic view of your seat in the app before you buy. And again, this is the lowest price, all right? So that's the lowest price guaranteed, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Your purchase is also covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time.
What was your reaction to being drafted by the Boston Celtics, a young Cedric Maxwell coming out of UNC Charlotte? You hated it. What? Where did you want to go? Did you have like a list? Because that's every player does. The ones that say they don't, they got a couple.
The teams that were right behind the Celtics. The team that didn't want to pick me, and I was picked I was a lottery pick. I was number 12. The teams that didn't pick me were Milwaukee. Milwaukee talked a lot of noise about me because they visited and said I was a flake. And I was trying to get my.
So that's where you were trying. Wait. So that's where you were trying to go?
No. That's the team that didn't pick me.
No, I know, but I thought you said that the ones that didn't pick you were the ones that. Okay, my bad.
Number 11 was Milwaukee. Number 12, the team that I wanted to pick me actually, and I've been mad all this time saying it was number 13, but they were actually 14. Was the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta Hawks was picked 2 picks later. That's where I wanted to go. I wanted to stay in the South.
Yo, Max already knew. No, you already knew about Atlanta. You're like, Atlanta's up and coming. It's gonna be popping in about 15, 20 years.
It wasn't even Atlanta the basketball club. It was Atlanta the city. I mean, I just really wasn't interested in Boston. I mean, I read a lot of things about Boston, racially, and and I knew it was cold, but I knew Atlanta was right down the street from Charlotte. Now, I might have been in the league for maybe about 3 years if I had gone to Atlanta, because I would have been, I'd have been buck wild down in Boston, because we were so isolated and there were so few people of color, which I didn't even know. I didn't even know Roxbury existed.
No, man. Don't sleep on it.
No, they took me.
Don't let that national propaganda fool you, man. There's plenty.
We practiced up in Burlington. We practiced in Burlington. I wasn't hanging out. The first place I went that I thought I would see some people of color was the Boston Commons. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go in the Boston Commons.
Park.
They're going to have a basketball court down there. I'm going to play some hoops or something like that. I never made it to the other side of town until later on that I see people of color and say, oh, man, there's some black people, Dominican people. There are people.
That's where they took us away, Max. They took us away in the boroughs. I call it Roxbury, Jamaica Plain, Hyde Park, Mattapan. Yeah.
Never knew that existed for my first year or so in the league, in the NBA. So Atlanta was the team I wanted to go to. So when I got drafted by the Celtics, I was just upset. I did not, and they, at that time, they picked you by a ticker tape. You weren't in a green room. You were in a room where they just all of a sudden, okay, number 13 or number 11 is by Chicago, or number 11 by Milwaukee. They took Ernie Grunfeld.
Wait, but are the GMs there, or so they already make their pick? They got a list. They're just announcing it.
They were
okay.
The GMs were in New York, and none of the players.
So they're making those decisions, those calls in a separate room, miles away. Damn.
Miles away. I got picked out. I was in Cincinnati, Ohio. Most everybody else was all over the place. Nobody was like, okay, the commissioner comes on the podium and says the number 1 pick belongs to this team. Who do you take? And then now you see, goes to the player. They get the player. He goes up on the mic. It's become a big stage now.
Yeah, everyone goes to New York. It's all in one place.
Back then it wasn't. All it was remember back then there were 9 rounds, Josue.
Yeah, that's crazy. 9 rounds. Yeah.
The year I got picked, which is crazy, was Caitlyn Jenner was in my draft. Got picked the same year I was drafted.
What?
Bruce Jenner got drafted.
So they picked him hoping that he would play, but obviously he didn't.
No, somebody picked him at like 8 or 9, the 9th round. But it was just for publicity. The first woman at that time, Ann Myers, got picked by a team. Annie Myers got picked by a team that year, like in 1977, by I don't even know what team it was, but there was a woman, and there was Bruce Jenner, or Caitlyn Jenner was picked in the draft in 1977, which is a little known fact to a lot of people.
There you go. That's a great what do you call it? Those trivia question right there. There you go. No one would guess that.
Matter of fact, I thought I had. What was I think this year we were in Arizona. We're in Phoenix, and we're at a resort outside of Phoenix, and it was maybe 20 miles outside of the city, and up came somebody who looked like Caitlyn Jenner, and I looked and I wanted to say, "Hey, did you get drafted the year?" But I didn't know. I couldn't. So I just got. Wait,
but you knew it was a lookalike though, right? You weren't doing.
You can't. You're not going to look but so hard. But I looked and I'm like, should I say, "Hey, Caitlyn, hi"? And then she. It might have been one of the most awkward times ever. So I just let it go. It could have been, might have been, but a wiser, older Cedric Maxwell just let that go.
Let that mystery go, man. Just tell that story and just leave it open-ended like that. Yeah, that was a good call. Probably the best thing to do there. All right, two more here. Second to last question. Who's your favorite current Celtics player and why? I feel like people just from the podcast thought that maybe Marcus might have been your favorite. So maybe you have a new favorite, but I don't know. I'm just guessing here.
Marcus was my favorite.
Okay, so that's accurate. All right.
The way he played, but I think it might be. I think my interaction probably with Tatum has probably been registered a lot more. The fact that you love the fact that Jason Tatum got up on the podium and said, "Cedric Maxwell." I thought he was just a guy walking around. I didn't know who he was.
I thought he was a radio guy.
This radio guy walking around.
6'7" radio dude, man. Just a legend.
All of a sudden, I'm looking at 30 for 30, and I'm going, "Hey, there's that guy right there.
I know that dude.
I know that dude. He's at the game all the time." So, and that was when after he saw 30 for 30, I've told this story before. How he walked out on the floor and he was going to warm up, and all of a sudden he started yelling out, "Cornbread, cornbread, cornbread." I was like, "Dude, what's wrong with you?" And saw that 30 for 30. Damn, you were a bad motherfucker back in the day. So
I bet you didn't even realize. I bet you're so used to being called cornbread that you didn't even realize that's the first time he's ever called you that. So I think he was trying to give you like a little wink. That's funny. He
saw the 30 for 30 with Lakers Celtics, and he identified who I was by, by what happened. So it's kind of cool. It was kind of cool.
You know, it would be cool, man. We can somehow get another Celtics Lakers finals, man. Just one more time, one more time for a while. You see, you don't even want to see it. You're like, man, let them boys suffer. Let that team, fans, let them suffer. Let them suffer for a while.
Let them die. Let them die where they're at.
You try and see the Celtics build a lead. That's what you want to see. You want to see Celtics get 19, 20.
Huge lead, so we won't have to even start thinking about these Laker people crowing back and forth right now. But
it could be a long road, man. After post LeBron, I know Lakers fans don't want to even think about that yet, but it could be a long way for these guys. We'll see.
It could be closer when LeBron leaves, because it's just like the Olympics right now. Guys like Jason Tatum aren't getting the chance to play because everybody is deferring to LeBron. He's played well. I'm not taking anything. He's played well, but the younger players still defer to him. And what that does, especially in Laker land, it doesn't allow those other guys to grow. Like Anthony Davis should be that much better. You think about it. But what he does a lot of times, he defers to LeBron. How many times have we seen in the game where playoff game where Anthony Davis doesn't even touch the ball and LeBron is dominating the basketball, and they end up losing, and then they ask Anthony Davis later on, so, why didn't you get the basketball? Well, I tried to get in there and get the ball, but it's like, dude. So, I think they're closer when LeBron leaves than they are with LeBron there, because LeBron has to. Right now, you look at the Olympics. The Olympics, LeBron only has. They're not. He doesn't have to play an 82-game schedule. What they're playing for about 2 weeks or whatever long it is, or maybe a month. But you look at Jason.
About 3 weeks.
How much time is Jason Tatum getting right now? How much runs is he getting?
A little over double digits in minutes after that huge fiasco. Not much.
Yeah. So it just and I'm not even sure if that was a fiasco.
No, you're right. I shouldn't have said that term. But for Celtics Twitter, it was a big problem.
Danny is my guy, and I grew up with Danny, and he did a hell of a job when he was here with the Celtics.
Oh, of course, right.
But Brad Stevens, man, everything he has touched has turned to freaking gold. Because who would have picked?
He's batting 1,000, Max. Batting 1,000.
Who would have taken Joe Mazzulla? All those coaches you have over there.
You take back row Joe.
Yeah, why do you take Joe Mazzulla and you got Damon Stoudemire over there? You got these other why are you taking Joe Mazzulla? Did it work? Hell yeah, it worked. Did you go out and say I'm getting Derek White for 2 first-round draft picks? Did it work? Did he know? And then on top of that, you got to be lucky too. How did he know that Drew Holiday was going to be available after he traded away the best offender the Celtics have had in years in Marcus Smart? Damn lucky. He needs to be. If you go to a casino, take Brad with you. If you throw a dice, you let Brad blow on the dice or spit on them or whatever it is. You let Brad have the damn dice, okay? I'm gonna sit there. We're rolling with Brad because he has been unbelievable. Nobody talks about that. For the pieces he's put together, Joe Mazzulla to come in, and this is after everybody was damn near in tears when you lost Emek. People were like, oh my God, what's going to happen? I remember in the middle of the night, and then we all got that call going, Celtics are fired right now. Emek, do you know anything? I don't know shit. I don't know nothing.
Sherrod, Max called me at like 11 o'clock that night. I'm like, Max, you tell me what happened, man. What you mean?
That was a crazy night.
That was a wild night.
You're closer than we are because you do the the beat and you're around. Did you have any when it happened? Did you have any? And you can be honest with us, our boys. Did you have any
and all of our listeners?
When it happened?
Did I what? Say that again?
Did you have any idea what had happened?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, the thing about Ime was that I didn't think they would have the cojones to fire him. To be honest with you,
Neither did he, Sherrod.
because I mean, the dude went to the damn finals his first year. I mean,
it's Boston. It's the Celtics.
Not his first year in Boston. His first year as a head coach. And it's just like, do I think it was right that he was feeling himself like that? No. Do I understand it? Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, to me, it's like being thrown into a team and say you're going to be our starting quarterback. We're just going to this is be a year of growth, and next thing you know, you playing in the Super Bowl as maybe like a late first round or late draft pick, but you're in the Super Bowl as a rookie. That next year, you're going to be feeling yourself in a way that you weren't before because it's just like shit. If I can do this, and I didn't really know exactly what I was doing because everything was like basically read and react. Now that I know what this looks like, oh my God.
Well, let me ask you this. What was your reaction though? Because when you got the call just like us, and somebody had to call you and say, yo, man.
Like, what's your honest opinion?
Right. What was you're like, huh? What?
When they said that he was fired, I'm thinking like, okay, so they must know exactly who they got to replace him. And then when it was clear that, they really did, it's like, oh, fuck. They're going back to the lottery.
I was thinking, what did he do?
The lottery. Tatum is going to want to be traded. Yeah. Jalen is going to be traded. Al Horford's going to be like, forget this. I should have stayed in Philly. What am I doing here? It's about to get ugly. I'm thinking like this is about to get real, real ugly. And then Brad had a rough season. Then he gets promoted to G. What? Yeah. What the hell is going on here? And I give Wick and Brad and those guys a lot of credit, man. I mean, they obviously a lot of things had to break their way, but there's no way all of these things could have broke their way if you did not have some kind of vision on the front end of how you thought this would play out.
But you cannot have a vision when you're blindsided. When you're blindsided, you don't have a vision. And I think something happened, you're going, what? I mean,
no, you know what?
That's how. When I heard the news, I immediately called Joe Sway. I said, Joe Sway, what the hell is going on? Do you know Ema's got fired? You're going, huh? What are you talking about? I said, what do you know? He said, and I had all the reporters calling me going, Max, what's going on?
Yeah, give us the scoop.
I don't know. You're asking the wrong. I don't know.
But Max, the thing I would say, the vision for them, I think, was that, you know what? If we only get one thing right in all this, we're going to get our culture back. We're going to get it so that it's not an issue because this is a major blow to our culture. And if we win some games, great. But if we don't, as long as we get the culture back on track and get this thing pre-Eme culture-wise, we're going to be good. Now, did they anticipate they'd win this much with Joe? Hell no. Hell no. No one saw that coming. I think they were just hoping that he would do a solid job and they would stay, relatively in the thick of things in the East and they'd be good. But to win a championship, get to the finals, and do it in a way that's, I mean, let's be honest, Joe's all about shot. And their defense wasn't quite what it was before, but they were still winning games. And so, I mean, to me, the vision was that let's just get this culture back to where it was before. And if we win some games, great. And if we don't, then we don't. But again, they didn't just win some games; they won a hell of a lot of games. Yeah. And there's no way you can anticipate that they would have had this kind of success on the court. The culture-wise, I figured, Joe Mazzulla was a safe pick. Knowing his background, knowing what he values, the cloth that he's cut from as a person, as a coach, he is going to make sure that the foolishness that you had with Ime, that wasn't going to happen. You didn't have to worry about that no more. But can he win us some games? Because that's the fan coming out. Is the brother gonna get us some wins? Yeah. And I give him a lot of credit, man. He did it his way.
I mean, you think being there helps, though, right, guys? Though, like being with that team, because if he was just a coach that just came in, was like, all right, guys, I'm taking over now. Like, I think him being on that bench, even though he's in the second row, sort of helped. No, because if you're the players, you're like, okay, he didn't sign up for this, but
if you're the player, you're thinking he's on the second row. If you're the player, you're thinking he's on the second row.
Exactly.
So now you are a leader.
He's on the second row and he comes in. That the difference I always said between you and the head coach with the assistant coach is about a half a foot, 6 inches or whatever it is. But for them to go what he did with this team at this time, and he's a safe pick You know, his wife sits behind the bench. I talked to him, his wife. They they break down tape together. Last thing I want to do if I was coaching is have my wife telling me about what happened in the play. I'd be like, you know, here, wait, let's get this Max thing. Cook me some bacon and eggs or something. Go ahead.
You got to put the Max in there.
Somebody come back. No, I don't want my wife doing that. But in meeting his wife, what you listen to her basketball IQ and what she knows about the game. Oh my God, you can't have a better person beside you. But man, that was a stroke of brilliance. Yeah. And I just didn't think that anybody could see that thing coming the way it happened, because this is, and even with this, and Sherrod and Josue, winning this year, to me, I didn't even really celebrate as much. I was more relieved because they were front runners and people were doubting them the whole time. People saying, this is Buffalo. Every next team they play, oh, this team is going to beat them. When Dallas got in the mix, Dallas has the best player right now, and Luka is going, and I said this was going to be 4-1 in the beginning. Luka is going to be the best player. Luka was far from the best player. It was Brown. It was Tatum. I mean, you can add different people in who played well. So I don't see Dallas making that move again unless somebody's going to show me a picture of Luka right now. He's lost about 25 pounds and he done put on muscle. Now he can defend the basketball because he couldn't.
He ain't trying to be that dude yet.
Well, if you ain't trying to be that dude, you ain't winning yet.
I know, because after what happened in the finals, then that was a huge storyline. You know,
he got
game
exposed.
3 when he fouled out. Yeah, he got exposed in a big way, and they need him in that game 3.
Go ahead, Shannon Sharp. You got exposed. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Good. I appreciate you leading to our next thing. That was really.
You like that, see?
That's right.
Yeah.
What you did there.
This dude hosts a podcast, right? He knows.
He got exposed.
Joseph Pavone here, CLNS Media, and if you made it this far, that means you really like this video. So hit subscribe, make sure you keep our notifications on, damn it, and we got plenty of great content coming your way.